Let's go. Today's video is sponsored by HawaiiRopeChains.com, which you guys have seen I've done a video on in the past. Now, I did a video on HawaiiRopeChains.com previously because their pricing was OD competitive and pretty much beating everybody on the market. Shout out to Myron. Myron is a dude who has a real job and does this on the side, but apparently has been growing more and more because of his competitive pricing. And since he's pretty much like a one-man team, he's able to really cut costs the most that he can while still making obviously some sort of a profit and giving you guys the best deal possible. So Myron started off carrying like ropes, Francos, and a couple of Cubans here and there, but clearly based on his popularity has started carrying more inventory, and he sent a couple of pieces. A couple of them I'm excited about because we're not just talking about Italy and Peru, now we're talking about American stuff too. Well, let's roll my motherfucking music because HawaiiRopeChains.com is pulling shit out their ass.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. This is your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Yeah, I got a couple of pieces here that they're carrying in inventory, and I gotta admit the most exciting part is seeing ropes and Francos USA made, which is not something that I've seen in smaller millimeters. I knew rope chains would be made in the USA when they're bigger millimeters. I'm talking about like 10 plus millimeters, have no problem. But the labor costs alone to make these smaller pieces in America is just astounding. So I'm shocked that there's even any available or that he even has some. Now, as previously mentioned, he started off with like ropes, Francos, Cubans, some curbs, Italy and Peru made. But there's more to this story. Now, there's a couple of manufacturers, or maybe it's just one huge manufacturer within Peru that is split up in possibly two sectors. Everybody knows about beautiful Italian-made jewelry and that hue that they dip it in, which is custom Italian, has that brightness, has that somehow cheddar cheesy kind of look sometimes, overly polished, freshly dipped, the whole spiel. Peru is now starting to get more notoriety. There's other distributors selling more Peru pieces because there might be a little bit more profit to be made on some of them. But the quality is not lackluster to Italy at all. They just have some subliminal differences that really don't make much of a difference. However, there's two stampings that come out of Peru, which has been interesting and caused me to do a little bit of research, but I still haven't gotten down to the nitty gritty. So one of the pieces that came in this haul is my new 5mm 24-inch Peruvian rope chain, diamond cut, stamped BBB, which is part of where this story starts. Now this 14 karat 24-inch 5mm rope is absolutely beautiful. It is a Peru stamped BBB, diamond cuts, great, more natural color than Italian jewelry, and as sturdy and a little bit more pliable and flexible than the Italian ones that I have found in my experience. And I've thrown this on my CUBAKNOW pendant, and I think it just complements it perfectly. Here's some up close shots of the chain so you can get a look at the 5mm 24-inch 14 karat piece. And let's see if we can get a close look on the stamping. You can see the stamping here. It says BBB, which in doing a little bit of research, I didn't think was a Peru stamp, because the BBB stamps formerly were a company out of the USA called Bailey, Banks, and Beidel, which eventually there was some sort of business transaction that happened and it was bought by Zales Corporation way back. Then they split entities, then it was a reacquisition. There's a whole story and gamut about it, which confused me because I was assured that this chain would be from Peru with the BBB stamp, but from my knowledge, the Peruvian stamps were FJ, not BBB. So they required me to do a little bit of digging, make a couple of calls, and figure out what the hell's going on. So without making this an Unsolved Mysteries episode, it turns out that BBB was some sort of USA conglomerate which moved down south into the Peruvian jewelry market, and I don't know, either switch ownerships, whatever the case may be, their factories are now located in Peru, but there's Peruvian pieces that have the FJ or BBB stamp, and apparently those factories are huge, so much so that there's some type of possible speculation that they're all within this same factory using two different stamping methods all under one roof. I don't know how true that is, but I will use alleged. Now that's some real nerdy shit. That's for the people who are real enthusiasts that want to do some more digging. nobody really cares at the end of the day. They want to know if the quality is good, just as good as Italy, as popular as Italy is, or if they're gonna be superseding Italy. But now we're throwing Americans in the mix, so let's look at some of the BBB stamp ones that they sent first, and then we'll look at the FJ, and then we'll look at some Americans and see if there's some sort of contrast or different quality in them, but maybe they're all just the same and just get what you want. The first one I'm gonna show you on camera is a 6mm 14 karat gold 24-inch Peruvian BBB stamped rope chain. Now this Peruvian BBB stamped rope chain has a lot of shine, almost Italian-like. Has a beautiful polish, very clean, very shiny, great fucking cuts on this joint. Beautiful cuts, you can tell like it's just grabbing any light it can possibly find, and 6mm seems to be a really nice girthy size that can hold a fire ass pendant. Beautiful quality on this piece, amazing shine, great cuts, great quality, beautiful. And here's that stamping that I told you about. It's got a nice decent sized lobster clasp. It's got the 14 karat stamp, and let's see if we can see the BBB stamping. Yeah, that's the BBB stamping. Here's the 14 karat, and there's the BBB stamping. It looks like there's always like a taller B in the center. Great quality, beautiful piece. So this one is a 6mm 24-inch 14 karat gold Peruvian BBB stamp. So now we're gonna look at a 5mm 20-inch Peruvian 14 karat gold with the FJ stamp, or the more popular stamp as I know it. Same thing, equally shiny, very beautiful, amazing cuts. Doesn't have the Italian cheddar cheesy look, has more of a natural flair, great mobility. Same thing, beautiful quality, great diamond cuts, amazing mobility. 20-inch is a little bit on the shorter end. It would be the absolute shortest I would ever go, but I would have to be throwing it on a pendant. And here is the FJ stamp, which apparently just means fancy. Same look and feel, and putting it side by side with the BBB, other than the size, not much of a big difference. But now we're moving on to an American 6mm 24-inch 14 karat gold American one, which is gonna be the first time in me seeing this joint. Before I show the camera, I wanna kinda just inspect it real quick, because I haven't personally seen one in hand. Now, visually, I feel like there is a bit of a difference. Not much. What I'm noticing here is the diamond cuts aren't as defined as the Peruvian or even Italian. It seems a little bit more just gradual and subliminal rather than just a sharp, really shiny cut. The construction of the rope is perfect, but just the diamond cuts aren't as aggressive. There are diamond cuts, but they're just very minimal. Again, just very subliminal. Now the lock here is a little bit different. Funny, this got this division in front of it. I don't know if it's for the spring load or what, but it is 14 karat. It is a beefier lock, which I do like, but it doesn't seem to have, I don't know, maybe the refinedness that the other ones do. Check it out. I mean, still gorgeous, don't get it twisted. Absolutely beautiful, still has a shine factor. It's a rope at the end of the day. It's absolutely gonna have that shine factor. Great color, the dip on it isn't artificial or super, super bright. Here's the lobster class that I was talking about. It's definitely beefier on the lobster class, but it has this kind of split right here. I don't know if it's spring loaded or what, way that it was created, but I don't know. Makes me a little uneasy, I'm not gonna lie about it. If you look at it, the diamond cuts here are not as sharp. Obviously, it still has beautiful shine factor, but it just doesn't have that refinement. Like if I put these side by side, this is the FJ, this is the FJ Peruvian, and this is American. Try to zoom in a little bit. You can kind of see the FJ has a little bit of a sharper cut, to be honest with you. So now let's do a little side by side B-roll. So in checking these puppies out, what we're looking at here is American, Peruvian BBB, Peruvian FJ. Tell me if you guys spot any differences. Very interesting. They all have good flexibility. The American feels, I don't know, American, just a little bit more rusticy, kind of, not with as much refinement, but I mean, I'm nitpicking and I'm really being nitpicky on this shit. Now, what I don't have is a large Italian rope chain to show you in comparison, unfortunately. All I have is a very small millimeter, and it won't do it justice because these will overpower the look of that small millimeter and really won't give you a true side-by-side comparison. But now we got some Francos, one USA Franco and one Italian. Very interesting. This one is a 22-inch diamond cut Franco made in the USA, and I'm very, very, very surprised by the color of this Franco, to be honest with you. It looks very Italian-esque. This is an American Franco? Wow. Very, very shiny. Great dip on it. Beautiful polish. Very unusual. What I do see that is very different is the lobster clasps and the caps on them are a little different. Seem a little thinner here. I don't know how I like that thinness here. Just seems a little bit more fragile. Beautiful. Very surprising. A little bit more space here. But nice, beautiful fucking polish. Wow, I'm very surprised on this joint. And now let's look at a 3mm 20-inch Franco Italian style. This looks a lot more familiar. That Franco here is a little bit tighter. The cuts feel a little sharper. I can kind of feel it between my fingers. And what separates it usually is those nice end caps. Just adding a bit of security, you know what I'm saying? These are the Italian end caps that I'm used to. These just look and feel extra sturdy. She's just got that bulkiness and just kind of like that triple layer of protection, in my opinion. Just feels a little bit more sturdy. The Italians just know how to do shit well. And these aren't as gappy as that other Franco. Still has that beautiful shine. This hue is a little bit more yellow than the other one, not by a lot, but a little bit. Might be difficult to catch up on camera, but in side-by-side and picture, you can kind of see the color here is definitely a little bit more yellow than in this one, but they both carry a super high mirror of polish shine. Now some of the accessories that they're carrying also are like gold pamps with frames. Now this is a tiny 1 gram gold pamp with a just standard basic bezel. I don't even know how the camera's gonna pick this up, so it's definitely gonna have to be a close-up, but look how small this thing is. Look at the thumb, just to give you perspective. The camera may make it look large, but compared to a nail, it is super, super tiny. This is just too small for me to wear on any kind of chain. Even a 3mm Franco is too big to put on these joints. This is something you wear like a 1 or a 2mm chain, and it looks like it's something cute for a young lady or maybe a child of some sort. Very standard framing, 1 gram, pure gold, 24 karat, sweet stamped, and I'm sure they have larger sizes of these pamps as well. Beautiful pamp, it's just really, really tiny. Little thing ends up weighing like 1.7 grams with the framing. It's so fucking small. And now he also sent over some crosses. Now, full disclosure, these are not crosses that I would wear. They're definitely not my style, but a lot of things are my style that aren't your style. But this one is probably gonna be the best representation. He has multiple sizes. Now, I don't know what this style of cross is, to be honest with you. It has this kind of old school flair about it. For me, this just screams 1980s, 1990s style cross. But you let me know what you guys think. Great diamond cuts on the piece. A little bit of detail there. The back is kind of like a cross hatch design on it. And this one is about 11.5 grams, which would totally go on a 3mm Franco, giving you a very nice cross, a lot of shine, clean to the point, with a variety of sizes ranging from 1.94 grams, measuring it at maybe 1.2 inches, all the way up to a 2.3 inch minus the bail. Just giving you a nice variety of different crosses, all the same designs, and in different sizes. For me personally, this 5mm 24-inch just fits perfectly. You can hold the big boy pendant, which is heavier than the chain, and not feel like it's tugging or doing any kind of bullshit on it. Now let's do some neck profiles, baby. First, I put on the BBB 6mm 24-inch, followed by the 6mm 24-inch American, and the 5mm 20-inch FJ Peru. Once again, 6mm BBB Peruvian 24-inch, 6mm 24-inch American, and 5mm 20-inch FJ stamp Peru. Neck profile. Now let's take that 2.3-inch cross and let's put it on the 6mm American. Not too bad if you like this kind of style. Neck profile. Now for shits and giggles, let's do the 3mm with that tiny cross, just so you guys can see that. You might need a smaller. Shout out to HawaiiRopeChains.com for sponsoring today's video and sending me all this stuff for review. I'll leave a link in the description. You guys should check them out, price compare, see if it's something that you want to check out. I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know it is biggest in the game. Smooches.
CUBAKNOW, what's fresh, who's best, wanna know who's gonna pass the test. CUBAKNOW.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start tack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense, you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.